Hello. So I thought I would do a quick video. I haven't done one for a while, and basically I've started reading this book, Creating the Impossible. And it's a 90-day program to get your dreams out of your head and into the world, which is basically what I love doing the most. And I just think it's really interesting because what he says is that we tend to only take on goals or projects which we know that we can do because we're all so scared of failure. But the thing is you can't get anywhere in life if you're not prepared to fail. And all the massive successes that we see in the world will have failed so many times, and probably the more successful you are, the more you've had to have failed. And just on that topic, like I saw someone talk, well, the founder of Yo Sushi ages ago, and he basically he welcomed his failures because he knew he was that much closer to his successes, and I love that way. And I think that had a big shift. I can remember referring to him a lot, however many years ago, really near the beginning when I started. I think hearing things like that, you realize that you don't have to have the answers when you start. And what he says in here is you need to pick projects or goals, like starting your own business, that have like a 20% chance of success. And basically you have to, because that gives you something, like that's the excitement of creating something that you could sit and think was impossible, but actually making it happen. There's nothing more rewarding, in my opinion, in life of creating something from nothing. And I think that's what I love about what we do. And the feedback I get from the ladies we work with, like, they have an idea and a lot of people say, well, what's the process, what's the step? And I say to them, like, the first step is to join, and then it's just a step-by-step thing. You don't need to know about step 10. Like, so the first thing is, what's your name, and then turn that into a brand, and then and then the products, and you don't have to have it all figured out before you start. And actually, I don't think you should even try and figure it out before you start, because you'll be there forever. No one will have the answers before they start. And most people will have a fear, a genuine fear that they're going to fail. But the difference is that they do it anyway. I'm always doing new things, and potentially I'm doing something at the moment which I'm loving. But we haven't, me and the lady that I'm working with, we haven't even stopped to think about what if it doesn't work, and because we're just like embracing it all. And we're going to be following this next term. Next term, we're going to create the impossible together. And the goals that we're setting ourselves, we don't really think we've got a chance of it happening. There's a, it's thinking about, so Gemma joked like that she was going to be queen. Well, obviously if you pick something like that, you haven't even got a 20% chance that that's going to happen. But if you pick something like you're going to set up a business and achieve such and such or whatever, as long as there's a small chance that you could do it, then that's enough to base all of that on. Because as long as you hold on to that, you can work out the rest. So what he says is, first of all, you get your project, your impossible project. Yeah. So something that, if everything was aligned in the right way and the wind was blowing in the right direction, you felt your best and everything was just perfect, it could actually come true, but you can't quite see yet how. Yeah. And you're like, I don't know how I could achieve that. I don't know how I could pull that off. But if everything was aligned and a little bit of magic was thrown in, then yeah, it could. And so you pick that project, and then basically, like, day by day, like he talks about the 5 phases of creation, which is about just starting something from nothing. And I think that's it. It's just starting. So you do something, and for instance, if you were to join us, you've got a massive program that you can follow. And as long as you show up and do the work, and you believe, and you apply yourself, and you commit to the process and really believe in yourself, then you can achieve the impossible. Yeah. The great quote that I love is, if it's possible in the world, then it's possible for me. And it's so true, yet we talk ourselves out of it because we don't want to risk failing. But do you know what? If you failed, then you would be a totally different person at the end of it. You would be so much stronger, and everything that you've learned, you could feed into your next project. Like, it's not like a definitive, well, game's over. Like, everything you learn when you become your own boss and you're doing your own business and you're putting your energy into it, you're creating so much more than that business entity. The transformation in yourself and everything else is phenomenal, because you're taking that control of your life, and you're stepping up, and you're trusting yourself, and you're taking a punt on yourself. That does amazing things for your self-confidence. So this book basically, yeah, so I just read the 5 guidelines, okay? And it says, once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. So that's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. So you must believe, number one, you must believe that you have a less than 20% chance of success, he says, actually. A simple rule of thumb is that work hard alone won't be sufficient to complete your project. You want to be in over your head and forced to rely on the invisible giants of inspiration, possibility, and opportunity in order to succeed. So what he's saying is that, like, sometimes people are lucky, sometimes things happen and we can't explain it. And that's what he's saying. Like, when you put yourself in that position, things align, things happen. I have witnessed that over and over again in my own story. Amazing. You must be sufficiently inspired about what you want to create to be happy to invest time in creating it, regardless of how it turns out. Now, I think this is a real biggie. Okay, if you come in at starting to create a business because of the end goal, because you want to earn money doing that, and that is all it's about, then your inspiration and your motivation will probably run dry. You've got to learn to love the journey. Like, I honestly could do this for the rest of my life. I couldn't imagine doing anything other than running my own business. And actually, the end result is not what it's about for me. I'm not looking to retire because I love what I do so much. I don't want to stop what I'm doing. So, and I think it's really important that you embrace that journey and enjoy the process of creating something out of nothing, creating your business out of nothing and watching it grow and experimenting. Until you've experienced that, it's just miles and millions of miles away from turning up at an office and doing ABC over and over again because you're told to by your boss. To have that freedom, even if loads of the ladies I work with just do it in the evenings and weekends around their job, but even the process of having that creative outlet and creating something from nothing inspires them in their job more and makes life so much more bearable. So number 3, your impossible project should be about creating a result, not a feeling or quality. So this isn't about doing something because it's going to make you feel a certain way. It's about creating something that you want to see in the world, like something really tangible. And what he says is it's not about you. So it's not about doing it for you. It's about creating this project about... So what's he say? One of the biggest things that will get in the way of creating an impossible project is to turn it to be about you. It isn't about becoming a better person or overcoming your patterns. It's just about creating stuff in the world, plain and simple. And I think when you break that down, that actually, and I'm doing a Facebook course at the moment and learning about Facebook in a different way than I have before. And I think it relates very much to that, because when you start looking at actually the mechanics of it all, which is what the business incubator is about, is just looking at the mechanics, and you take yourself out of it. And I think we stop ourselves because we think we're not good enough. We're not enough. We don't have enough skills. And by looking at this, it's not about you. It's about following someone else's path or following your inspiration and creating something in the world. And that is literally about following steps. Like, if you take you out of the process, it's just a matter of following the steps, the same steps other people have followed in order to create success. It's not about you and whether you're going to fail or whether you're going to be good at it. It's about whether you can just follow the process and stick at it and actually give it your all. Okay, and choose one thing, not 12. Now, I'm not very good at this, but it's attempting to choose the program to create everything you've ever wanted, but it usually turns out to be a fantastic strategy for creating nothing. The good news is that most people report that they will make all sorts of mysterious progress on their other projects while they focus on just one. And I think that's the key. I will struggle with that the most because I have so many ideas. But yeah, I'd recommend it. And basically, if you don't start now, then when? When is there going to be a better time? We can all put it off, we can all put it off indefinitely. And what will happen is that you'll wake up next year or 10 years time and think, oh, I wish I'd started. And I'm saying that because the number of women that have started with me that have said, I wish I started 3 years ago when I first came across you, because they'd be established by then. Like, time is passing regardless if you start your business or not. That's a fact, yeah, a universal life fact. So whether you start today or tomorrow, if you start today, you'll be 1 day ahead of the person that starts tomorrow. If you start today, you'll be 1 year ahead of the person that starts one year. Now, that's not to say that you have to be full at it for a year. it could be that you decide to take 2 years to get your business off the ground. But if you start today instead of 2 years' time, then you have that 2 years to not worry about breaking like a rush to the finish line, because you know that you're 2 years ahead of where you would be if you were putting it off. Okay. And yeah, I couldn't, if I have an idea, I just say that if I have an idea and I'm not allowing myself to bring that into fruition, and I stop myself because I've got too many things on the go, or someone tells me it's a bad idea and I sit on it, that is when I suffer from depression and anxiety. I can feel it coming in because I'm not allowing that creative flow to come out of me. So it's like I put a cork in my energy, and I'm like that. So I would urge you to do something, and whether or not it's joining me on the program or doing something like that, but for me, like, my first step was going on a jewelry course, a silversmithing course, and learning about making jewelry. That transformed my life because I knew I was doing something towards my future, and I wasn't just sat there waiting for something that I didn't know what, for my life to change. The only way your life is going to change is if you do something about it. It is down to you to do something today. Book on a course, book on a workshop, buy a book, join a program, find a mentor, talk to a friend, create a pact that you're going to do something together. Choose a tiny little goal and just see what you can do. But do something. Don't just wait, because time's passing. Just want to send you so much love. Life is so hard. Life is so hard. It has a habit of coming and knocking us off our perch over and over again. We can't give up. What's the alternative of just keeping on going and fighting and trying to find that path to joy? What's the alternative? Giving up and conceding that it's too hard, and what life would that give you? You have to keep getting up, back up, to fight another day, and to keep fighting towards what you believe is yours, a rightful life of happiness and full of what you want. So big love to you, especially if you're having a tough time at the moment. Life is really hard, but I think whenever life gets tough for me, the more I lose myself in projects like this, the easier it becomes to handle. So sending you lots and lots of love. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.